Hello, and welcome to another podcast or live stream podcast with Supplier T News. This is Jamie White, and as always, I have with me my live stream partner, uh, Ray Hayes. So, Ray, thanks for joining us for another podcast.
Hold on, y'all. It's all good, man. I was gonna do a little introduction and start it off with a little theme music for myself,
You're not
but
gonna
I'll
do
do
it.
it next time.
You just
Yeah.
gave me
Oh,
like
you
a
know what? Let me give you a little.
yeah. You
No,
just
no, no,
gave
no.
me
Let's
like
give you a little
a
tease.
huge speech about
Okay.
how you
Do
gonna
it.
do
Do it. Do
this.
it. Start over. Start over real quick. Do
What do you mean
same name.
start
Same
over?
name.
No,
just say. Just say.
no.
Let's introduce Ray again.
There is no do
Okay.
overs. Do your
I'll do it.
thing.
Okay. Let me do it. Let me do it. Let's introduce Ray Hayes to the my daily podcast partner. Here we go. Starting off the music.
Wow.
I just like the violin in the song, so I had to start it off like that. But go ahead, man.
So there's no music. Wow. So so
I
Ray
had to. I
Ray
mean, you heard.
Ray.
Listen.
So you gave me like a huge speech about how it's gonna be so great, and I'm gonna have this great music, and
Hey, it was some great music,
it's
man.
gonna be your theme music from now on. All right. Well, I guess next week we're gonna have some exciting, great
Well, I,
music, theme music for Ray
well, you had a
Hayes.
little bit of it. You didn't hear that violin playing in the background?
No, not at all. Maybe because I
Oh
was
well,
too
never
busy.
mind, man.
Maybe because I was too busy laughing. I don't know, but I didn't
Let me
hear
say
it.
this: it wasn't as bad as my joke. Well, this what I just did wasn't as bad as what you said last week when you said it was gonna go snow. Or you were talking about it may be
Oh, it
cold,
didn't snow. It
70
didn't snow
degrees
in Michigan.
in the Midwest.
It didn't snow in Michigan. It rained.
It didn't snow in Chicago either. But
Yeah,
you said it's gonna be 70 degrees or something like that.
I can't remember. I can't remember.
Yeah, I
Maybe,
do. I
maybe,
remember. I
maybe.
got your back. I
Yeah,
got your back. Don't worry
maybe.
about it. I remember for you.
Okay.
But go ahead, man. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So let's get into what we said we were going to talk about today, which is diversity hurting Marvel's comic sales? Now, I want to be specific here. We're talking about Marvel's comic book sales, right? So basically, the I think everybody knows what comic books are. So we're focusing in on that, and not obviously the Marvel, cinematic universe, which includes, their movies on the big screen, their Netflix series, the TV series. Like we're not including that because I think we can all safely say that those products and whatever you want to call them, film services or whatever, I don't know, entertainment products or whatever, they're doing fine. They're making, billions and, hundreds of millions. Those are fine. But in focusing on the comic book sales, uh, a recent article came out that's pretty much made the rounds on every big name news publication. Uh,
Right.
Marvel came out and said that they're,
Marvel executive.
yeah,
Let's
a
not say
Marvel
Marvel. A
executive.
Marvel executive.
You're right. A Marvel executive. Well, he represents Marvel, so that can be said.
Well,
That
okay.
can be one
Yeah.
point. But yeah, a Marvel executive. So this goes pretty high up. Is essentially saying that a couple of his, or not a couple, but a lot of his comic book stores who are selling the Marvel, comic books, they're telling him that diversity is hurting sales. So we wanted to come on and give our thoughts about what this could possibly be. Is diversity actually the issue behind these sales, or is it something else? So that's essentially how we want to do this. Now, I want to definitely give it over. Segue that to handing it over to Ray because I know you have a lot to talk about this, and then I'll give my thoughts after you go and
Okay.
give your thoughts first.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jamie. Um, Definitely. In regards to the comic book sales, diversity hurting comic book sales, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily hurting it. I would say it's bringing a different fan base to the Marvel universe, and also I think it brings a new fan base to the DC universe as well. I mean, they may not have as much change in new characters as Marvel, but they do have some changes in their female characters or people of color. But the fact that it's hurting it, I don't think so. I think it's the fact that even the fact that Marvel is putting out so much product or saturating the market with so much Marvel products when it comes to comic books or toys or collectibles. I think that is hurting sales because there's so much out there that people are like, man, I'm tired of seeing all this Marvel stuff. And it's characters you don't necessarily know about. Now, when it comes to the uh, core fan base in Marvel, those fans may not like the fact that, for instance, the new Iron Man, Iron Man is a woman. I mean, you're used to Tony Stark being the Iron Man, but now you have a woman who's playing Iron Man, or you have Falcon, who's a part of the Avengers. The Avengers is now the new Captain America. Now you may have fans like that, core fans, who are complaining about that, but I don't think the fact that I see the characters now being of diverse from a diverse background, I'm not going to buy it. Now, at the same time, me saying that there are some people, there's probably a small amount of people. I mean, Jamie, you probably can agree with me on this, that don't like the fact that these characters are diverse. I mean, it's a shock. I just want the same people. I don't want to see you trying to force this diversity thing down my throat, which a lot of people have complained about in the past. So yeah, some people are kind of ticked off about the diversity being pushed in Marvel. However, I don't think it's killing the sales. I think it's more to it than just diversity. I think it's, like I said, the oversaturation of Marvel products in the market. That's what's, really hurting sales more.
Yeah.
And the Marvel exec, he did point that out. He did say that his comments were a little bit overstated. He backtracked and said that it's not fully diversity or it's hurting Marvel sales, because he said that some of the comic book stores, they're really excited about the new diverse characters in Marvel. They're anticipating these comic books coming out with the new, let's say, the new Spider-Man. He's a biracial teenager now. So you have comic book stores who are anticipating these new comic books coming to their store and selling it. And some of the people who are coming to the store, the customers that are coming to the store, they're anticipated as well. But Jamie, I'll let you give your thoughts on the situation as well too.
Well, so I read an article that I think explains this pretty well, and that was
Mm-hmm.
you have, so in addition to the cinematic universe, the movies doing pretty well. Hello, you okay?
Yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
had a little call. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So in addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe doing pretty well, also the mainstream characters of Marvel are doing pretty well as well. So like you said, the Iron Mans, the
Okay.
Captain Americas, they're doing a new. They have a new not series, but I guess series run ish, if you will, where now Captain America is a member of Hydra, and he's a bad guy.
Yeah, I
Yep,
saw
yep,
that. Yeah.
yep. So those are actually doing well. From the article that I was reading, the issues aren't the main character Marvel characters. The issues are the new characters that they're creating and trying to push.
Okay.
So
So
let's
these are the characters. I'm
well,
sorry.
yeah. So to be fair, there's always been a struggle. I don't care, DC, Marvel, whoever. Whenever you bring out a completely new character, there's always going to be a struggle to get them established and gain, excuse me, and gain support from members of the comic book community. What's making this
Oh yeah,
even
definitely.
yeah, what's making this even harder, in my opinion, now, and the executive David, I forgot, he points this out, is now you have, like you said, a biracial female who's being whatever character, or a black female being
Spider-Man
Iron Man, or Spider Man's a biracial male, but I just meant just biracial
in
female,
general.
whatever. Yeah, just whoever it is, they're being you know uh whatever character they are, instead of them being the normal white male teenager or whatnot. Now they're females, and or black guys, or Hispanics, or whatever, people immediate who aren't really big comic book buyers right now. So because of that, normally you'd have a drop in sales, but now you're having an even bigger drop in sales, because usually if you just had a new white male character that you're trying to promote, you've already got somewhat of of an established base there that might buy it. But when you bring in that new black male, well, you don't really have as big of a established base. So obviously those sales are going to drop. So I think that's pretty much where we're
Mhm.
at right now because in addition to that, Marvel is really pushing this diversity. Like they are ridiculous. They are really pushing this. And like you said, it's now we're getting into that saturation. It's hard to buy into a black female as Iron Man when you're telling me in the cinematic universe that Iron Man's Tony Stark. If I'm watching
See, that's the
movies,
thing.
yeah, if I'm watching
That's true.
movies,
That's
and,
that's a big thing.
yeah, if I'm watching movies and you're complete and you continue to tell me, Tony Stark, he's in every Marvel movie, he's going to be in this new Spider-Man. Now the Spider-Man movie that's coming out, it's a white teenager. If I'm seeing that at the movies, why would I want any other Iron Man?
Yeah. It kind of throws your head. I mean, your head off. I mean, your mind off because okay, I see in this comic book you have a new Iron Man, and it's a woman, a black female, and her name is Ironheart. But you're telling me in the movies, Iron Man is Tony Stark's a white male. It kind of like the average fan is not going to anticipate that comic because I have a live action movie with audio that's coming at me constantly. A comic book you have to wait a few months. I mean, a movie too, but you can watch this. I mean, you have a movie waiting a few months too, but the movie you can watch it constantly, and you see it. You see him in that movie longer than what you see in an actual comic book. So it's kind of like I'm anticipating more of Tony Stark's character coming to the comic book series, not you totally introducing me to a new character that's totally different from Tony Stark's. So it kind of screws with your head a little bit. So I agree. I definitely agree with that. I mean, that's a great point, James.
Yeah, so you got a couple of things working against the comic book sales when you're talking about Marvel when you're trying to bring in diversity. When it's contradicting what you're already running right now. In addition to that, let's get away from diversity and let's just talk about the simple fact that people they're so used to the characters and what they are, whoever they are, whatever race they are. The fact that whenever you
Right.
change them to another person, doesn't even matter the race, just you're changing them instead of being Tony Stark to some. It could be Tony Stark white male to Scott, I don't know, Bishop white male, and people would still not support it as much because you've changed it. And
Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't. Yeah, you're right.
and
Right.
people are so used to these characters. It's when you change them, it's going to be hard to
Oh,
get support. So
right.
we're dealing with things that we're in a lose-lose situation to begin with, and now when you're adding honestly that diversity on it, knowing that there's not as many people, in those categories or in those ethnicities that support comics, I mean, of course, it's going to be a drop. Uh, Now, what's the solution, right? Because Marvel obviously wants to connect with, wants to create a more diverse lineup in their characters to expand, to like the Hispanic community or the Black community, or females. What's the solution? Well, obviously, the solution that they're doing right now, which is just throwing a bunch of new characters at us, probably isn't something that probably isn't the solution right now. But
But they've been doing that for years, though, Jamie. I mean,
and it hasn't been working,
the
right?
'90s.
Well, no, no,
You
no,
said,
no. Well, the '90s that
but,
that actually went really well for them when they went like when they did like the X-Men and stuff.
hmm
Like that's a good way of doing diversity, right? What happened was the original
okay,
X-Men, I think it was like in the '60s and '70s. Uh, I can't think off the top of my head. It was like Cyclops, Jean Grey, Angel, Beast, um, and I'm missing somebody. Iceman, and so those were like the original ones. And then what happened was they did a reboot in the late '80s, early '90s, and that's when we got Storm. That's from Africa. That's when we got Wolverine from Canada. That's where we got Colossus or whatever. I think Colossus from like Eastern Europe. So Kitty Pryde. That's when they started like switching. That's good diversity, right? That's when you put a spin on it. But you
okay.
give every
I
character,
see what you're saying.
yeah. But you give every character their own backstory and their own, personality and whatnot. And but they're still formulating. They're still in this one team, but they're still individual characters. So that's good diversity. And there are, like you said, there are ways to do it, But I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you're promoting Tony Stark, for the past decade as this guy, and he's Iron Man, and then one day, oh, by the way, there's this new black chick, and now she's Iron Man, and now she's Ironheart. It's like, well, you probably have to do that a better way to introduce those characters, and I do think things such
I
as
don't.
like, oh, yeah, we're about to say, yeah,
I
I've
don't.
been talking for a while.
Before, I mean, in regards to her name being Riri, the new Iron. Her name is Ironheart. She's not Iron Man. Ironheart, the new character. I think that the way they introduce it is okay. It's a matter of getting fans adjusted to the change and I mean, making it plain and simple. Okay, we're not getting rid of Tony Starks. Tony Starks may be ill or something. Something's going on with him. So Riri, aka Ironheart, comes in to help Tony Stark. The casual fan may not know this, so I think the backstory is is the main thing, is what's needed to get fans adjusted to the changes.
Well,
I don't think they should change the way they're introducing the characters.
I
Totally don't think,
actually
because
don't
it
agree
adds
with that. But I'm gonna
excitement.
ask you this though. Who's your favorite?
What's that?
Who's your favorite Marvel character?
My favorite Marvel character?
Well, who's your favorite minority and or woman Marvel character?
My favorite. My favorite minority Marvel character.
Yeah, or you know what?
Just
in general, because we need to figure out is why and like how did it?
Go ahead.
Because I'm trying to figure out is what did they do right in that character that they could do right in this one, or to generate buzz for these new minority women characters. But who is your favorite? And it doesn't have to be Marvel. It could be DC. So if it's like John Stewart, Green Lantern, you can do DC as well. Static Shock.
Okay, right now, no, definitely not Static Shock. I love the cartoon, but I didn't really care too much for him. But the side note. But right now I would say Wally West. Wally West on a TV show, because on the TV show Wally West is black.
Let's choose another character, because in the comics he'd be white. Let's talk
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I understand that he'll be white in the comics, but
that's
the TV show, him and Iris is black.
Yeah, but in the comic books.
Okay, in the comics.
But you know what? That's actually you actually just gave credence to what my point was going to be, which is if you want Riri to take off, put her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Put her in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
I mean, she is in it. She has her own comic. The comic coming out.
No.
You mean the TV shows?
Yeah, the movie. You said your favorite character was
Wally. No.
You said no. You said you said that your favorite character was Wally West. Why? Because he's in a TV show, something that you can see. When X-Men blew up, why did that blow up? Because they had a TV series that children could see and watch and say, "Oh, okay, this is cool." Why did John Stewart become?
Yeah, that's why the Avengers blew up.
Yeah, why did John Stewart become one of the biggest Green Lanterns, if not the biggest? Because he was in the Justice League. And that was the black guy that everybody knew. That everybody was like, "Oh, this is now my favorite." He became the de facto. There's actually a couple of like people who talk about how John Stewart, who is not the de facto Green Lantern, became the de facto Green Lantern because our generation just grew up with him and said, "Oh,
that is true." When you think of the Green Lantern, it's kind of like sometimes you think of the John Stewart.
Even though Hal Jordan is,
he's not.
Hal Jordan is the de facto and the strongest Green Lantern, bar none. But because we grew up with John Stewart, everybody just and that's just how. That's how to create, that buzz for diversity is that, and that's just the new way to do it nowadays. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Now, am I saying green light a TV series with Riri as Iron Man or as Iron?
No. Check this out.
No, but
they don't think. I like that idea. I agree with you. I like that idea. It will make things a little bit more interesting if you put her on a TV show. Put her on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She could be a character on there.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that will.
Yeah, just have her.
You won't have people like, I'm tired of doing the diversity thing. put on the TV. I agree with you saying. You put on Agents of
Yeah,
Shield
3 to 4 episode
because
arc.
you don't have to give a stand-on show right now. You can
No,
put on
just
Agents of Shield
yeah, 3 to
as a
4
little
episode
character,
arc.
and it'll be
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know. Maybe they're
Yeah, I
recruiting
like
her
that.
for some. Yeah, maybe they're investigating or researching her for whatever reason.
Now
And then
check this
bam, she's
out.
on it.
If
Yeah.
if anybody from the TV show is listening to this, and y'all put Riri on the show, y'all owe Jamie some money.
No, but what we're trying to do here is we're trying to
No,
increase
man.
diversity sales when it comes to Marvel Comics. And the issue with it is that there's just different ways to promote comics nowadays. And it's
I
not
agree
just
wholeheartedly. I agree with you because when you look at, have you checked out the show Legion?
I've heard great things about it. I haven't seen it. I've seen like part of an episode, but I haven't seen it like all the way through. But I heard nothing
The
but great
reason I
things.
bring that up is because the average fan wouldn't know anything about Legion if you didn't look at that show. And it brings a whole new fan base to that character.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is another one.
Definitely. You wouldn't have really known nothing about that
nobody
either.
knew anything about that. Now all of a sudden everybody's a Groot fan, right? Like
Yeah.
that's like I'm 100% sure. Why is diversity? You give them a movie like Black Panther. When that comes out, guess whose comic book sales are gonna blow up?
That's going. Yeah.
Yeah, like this isn't rocket science.
They'll go crazy.
Yeah, you can't not this, and this has always been the issue with diversity, just in any industry. Mine is outside of tech because they're actually trying to invest in it, but they just can't figure it out. Is when you don't invest in something and then you're like, why isn't it working? Well, because you're not really creating the characters. Yeah, creating the characters is nice and everything. It's a great first step, but now you have to actually promote it and push it to people, and you've got solutions that work. And again, I point to Guardians of the Galaxy. Not really sure how Ant-Man did because Ant-Man's a little tricky because the Ant-Man isn't the Ant-Man in the cinematic universe. They went with Scott Lang as the Ant-Man, but the Ant-Man is what's his name? The Ant-Man in the movies is different from the
he's
Ant-Man.
a different character in the comics.
Exactly.
Right, okay. I got you. All right. My bad.
Yeah, no, it's fine. So that's why I was saying I don't know. So that was a little bit of an exception, but everyone else, yeah, they blew up because of the cinematic universe. Like then you've got Netflix is a little bit different. So like the Daredevils, Punishers, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage's, Iron Fist, they're a little bit different. But again, if you want, like you said,
you have Arrow.
Well, that's DC. That's DC.
Well, I'm just saying, like the way you're describing it. Yeah, but the only reason I brought up Arrow because the way you're describing it, what you're saying, okay. Yes, the movie is always, the movie or the television series, that's always usually going to sell good. And I was just saying, look at Arrow. In the comics, he's like a side, he's not a sidekick, but he's not a Captain America, or he's not an Iron Man, like standalone big superhero. But in the TV show, you have Arrow as one of the biggest heroes in Central City or whatever city he's from.
No, that's pretty accurate.
So I mean,
I think what
like
you're saying is like
put it,
he's not like a Superman.
Right. He's not that
True.
big super like that.
Yeah, but I mean, who is right? Like, no, he's not. I mean, he's his own character and he has his own like exploits and stuff. But like, who is a Superman? Who is a Batman other than them?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, like, but at the same time, they just added more to him.
No, I get what you mean. Like they did. That's a really good example of you have a character that you want to make bigger, give him his own TV series.
Introduce him in the TV series.
Introduce him to more people, and maybe somebody else's TV series because you don't know the reception might be in a way where they're like, you know what, we can expand this character and make a whole bunch more money. With that, for example, if you introduce Riri and Agents of Steel, the reception may be so great that they can do a lot more with her.
Yeah, the sales in comics will probably boost, and you want to hear people complaining. Okay, I don't want to see Riri as Iron Man. No, because now you understand. Yes, there's still Tony Stark, but she's her own character.
Yeah,
she's an apprentice, or so to say, of Tony Stark.
Yeah, Exactly, and I really like that Agent of Shield idea because again, it's just 3 to 4 episodes. Give her own story arc, and then see what happens.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So,
Chelsea, that'd be a great idea. I mean, we can. Yeah, you could probably pitch that idea to Marvel, man. Well, you
nah,
can. You can.
I'm actually I'm okay, but there's other characters in the Marvel universe as well that they could definitely do.
I got your back.
But I just think
I'm gonna
right
send him a
now,
tweet.
I just think right now what they're doing is like you said, it's just oversaturation, and the ebbs and flows. But they do need to. They should highlight a couple of their diverse characters and just push those guys in as
Yeah,
many forms as
I
possible
definitely agree.
instead of just shooting out 30. Well, I don't know how many they have, but for example, 30 new characters that, I mean, whether they're this is the same issue that they've had with the X-Men when they introduced like 10 new X-Men characters every year. Like, nobody cares because there's just too many. There's just too many to keep up with.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but if you're
That's a good point.
yeah, if you're strategic about it and you're like, all right, we're pushing, these are the 4 or 5 characters, new characters that we're pushing, then do that and go with it.
Call it a day.
Yeah, I mean that's how we got force fed Cyborg into the Justice
That's how we
League.
got who?
Force fed Cyborg into the Justice League from DC.
Oh, well. But wasn't he always in the Justice League in the
No,
comics?
no, he
No.
was not. No, he was not.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, hey.
but I mean that's how you do it. You identify a character and you say this is the character that we're gonna expand. We're gonna force this guy to be great. We're gonna make this guy great no matter what. And it's pretty much how you do it. You can agree if you like it or not. Which personally, I didn't like Cyborg being force fed like he was, but that's who we have, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna grow because of it, especially now that he's in a movie. But that's pretty much it for me. Any final thoughts, Ray?
No. I definitely I enjoyed the conversation today. I definitely did. I know you're more the expert when it comes to comics. I'm a rookie. I'm steady learning, so I actually enjoyed it.
Well, what you probably should go to, and I can promote this guy. It's this YouTube channel called Comics Explained.
Yeah, I heard of that one. It's
Yeah,
another one called Variant Comics,
I think you told me about that. I
and the
think.
guy on the channel is very good. He breaks down the origins of when Legion came out. He broke down the origin of the
Yeah,
character Legion.
that's what
So
comics. That's
it's
what
kind of
Comics
cool.
Explained does. But he does Comics Explained. He actually did a series about the first like black superhero. It's a black guy who does it. So it's like
Oh wow,
yeah,
okay.
it's like a four. It's short, so it's like I don't know between 10 and 20 minute videos. It's a 5 part series, I believe, and he like breaks it down. Like this is his origin. This is like kind of what he does. And he does that for a lot of stuff. Like he did that for I think he did that for Civil War. He does that for he highlights a lot of black characters, which I really appreciate. In addition to like the Captain Americas, the Iron Man's, the
The
Supermans.
usuals.
Yeah, exactly. But he makes it a point, which I really appreciate, to highlight the female characters, black characters, and whatnot. But yeah, it's a black guy, so definitely check him out. He's really good. Comics
Okay.
Explained.
Right. And another one, like you said, Variant. Comics Explained Variant. VARIENT.
Yep. So all right, that's it from us. Thanks again for joining us on another podcast. As always, like, subscribe, comment on the video, and tell us what you think. But thanks for listening, and have a great day.
Have a good day, everybody.